Dear students, in this last session on fluid kinematics, we will understand the concepts of velocity potential and stream function. A potential flow refers to an ideal and irrotational flow, but all fluids in nature are real. They have some viscosity, so we have to deal with a real fluid when you are solving a problem. But idealization of fluids helps us a lot in arriving at some reasonable solutions for a fluid flow problem. In understanding the concept of potential flow, we come across two concepts. One is velocity potential and the other one is stream function. Velocity potential is defined by phi, Greek letter phi, and stream function by psi. Velocity potential. It is defined as the scalar function of space and time such that its negative derivative with respect to any particular direction gives the velocity in that direction. Mathematically, for steady flow, this velocity potential is a function of x, y, z. If it is unsteady flow, it is function of x, y, z and t. But for considering steady flow, u, which is the velocity component in y direction, so negative derivative of phi, that is velocity potential in x direction, gives u. That is the definition of velocity potential. So the velocity potential of phi in y direction gives velocity component v. Similarly, velocity component w is the negative partial derivative of velocity potential with respect to z direction, where u, v, w are the velocity components in x, y and z directions respectively. We have for incompressible steady flow the continuity equation dou u by dou x plus dou v by dou y plus dou w by dou z is equal to 0. From the definition of phi, if you substitute the values of u, v and w in continuity equation, that will reduce to Laplace equation in phi, that is dou square phi by dou x square plus dou square phi by dou y square plus dou square phi by dou z square is equal to 0. For a two-dimensional flow, there is no third component in the Laplace equation, so we have dou square phi by dou x square plus dou square phi by dou y square is equal to 0. Any value of velocity potential which satisfies the Laplace equation will correspond to some case of flow. That means for a flow to exist, the velocity potential should satisfy Laplace equation. In other words, for a fluid flow, velocity potential should have a value. From definition of phi, we have u, v, w, and the rotational component z, the omega z in the xy plane is given by 1 by 2 dou v by dou x minus dou u by dou y. Substituting u and v in the omega z, we get 1 by 2 dou square phi by dou y dou x minus dou square phi by dou x dou y. Similarly, for the other two axis, omega y component is 1 by 2 dou square phi by dou x dou z minus dou square phi by dou x dou z dou x. Similarly, for dou omega x, we have 1 by 2 dou square phi by dou x dou y minus dou square phi by dou y dou z. If we have a function y function of x, then we call that function a continuous one when we have a particular value or a unique value of y for all values of, for different values of x. So if velocity potential is a continuous function similar to that, then we have this condition that dou square phi by dou y dou x should be equal to dou square phi by dou x dou y. From that, omega z will be equal to 0. Similarly, dou square phi by dou x dou z is equal to dou square phi by dou z dou x. This will be true for phi to be a continuous function. Then omega y is equal to 0. Similarly, omega x is also 0. When omega z, omega y and omega x are all 0, we can call that as irrotational flow. Hence, if from the previous slide, if velocity potential exists, the flow should be irrotational, and if it satisfies Laplace equation, it represents the possible case of steady incompressible irrotational flow. The first pointer is concluded by proving that for velocity potential to be continuous, omega x, y, z are equal to 0, or if it is a potential function, then omega x, y, z are 0. So that proves that this flow is irrotational. That is, when omega phi exists, the flow is irrotational. When phi satisfies Laplace equation, then it represents a possible case of fluid flow. Stream function is another important property which is defined as the scalar function of space and time, such that its partial derivative with respect to any direction gives the velocity component at right angles to that direction. It is defined only for two-dimensional flow. Stream function, if you want to express in mathematical way, dou phi by dou x, dou psi by dou x is equal to v. That is, partial derivative of stream function in x direction is equal to the velocity component perpendicular to x direction, that is v. Similarly, dou phi dou psi by dou y is equal to minus u. That is because taken in the anticlockwise direction, perpendicular to y direction is minus x, and the velocity component in the minus x direction is minus u. Two-dimensional continuity equation for an incompressible steady flow is dou u by dou x plus dou v by dou y is equal to 0. Substituting these values of u and v from definition of stream function, we have minus dou square psi by dou x dou y plus dou square phi by psi by dou y dou x is equal to 0. But if you look at the left hand side terms, these two terms may be equal when stream function is a continuous one. For a function to be continuous, then the second derivative in both the directions should be the same. Hence, the existence of stream function, that means if stream function is continuous, then it represents a possible case of fluid flow, but it may be rotational or irrotational. But to check the rotational flow or rotational flow, we have to proceed further. Since it is two-dimensional flow, we will consider only the rotational component in the xy plane about z axis. By substitution, we get this omega z is equal to dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square. But if omega z is 0, then it becomes irrotational flow, and when you substitute this right hand side is equal to 0, you call that as Laplace equation, that is dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square is equal to 0. And that means if this psi satisfies Laplace equation, that is an irrotational flow. So these can be summarized, the properties. If psi exists, it is a possible case of fluid flow which may be rotational or irrotational. If psi satisfies Laplace equation, then the flow is definitely irrotational. Now to find the relation between stream function and velocity potential, we have streamlines and equipotential lines. First of all, equipotential line is a line along which velocity potential is constant. Similarly, streamline is a line along which stream function is constant. That means for an equipotential line, this phi value is constant, and because of which you can write differential of phi is 0 for that equipotential line. If you look at the sketch, and for phi to be constant, okay, if you have drawn a curve and then you can draw a tangent at a particular point, and there is an intersection between two curves, one is phi constant, the other one is psi constant, and at that intersection, and now the angle shown is 90 degree. Now we are trying to prove that these two lines, that is streamline and equipotential line, intersect at right angles to each other, or they are orthogonal to each other. That's what we are trying to prove. So going ahead with this derivation or proof, we have function phi is f of xy for steady flow because there is no dependence on time factor. Differentiating this term using chain rule, we get d phi is equal to dou phi by dou x multiplied by dx plus dou phi by dou y by multiplied by dy. Since dy is 0 for an equipotential line, and having the substitutions from the definition of velocity potential, we have the slope of this equipotential line as minus u by v. Please go through the steps carefully. Dy by dx at phi gives you velocity, the slope of equipotential line, that is minus u by v. Similarly, if you want to find out the slope for a streamline, that is along a line along which stream function is constant. So going through the similar steps, d phi is 0, and from definition applying the chain rule, finally we get slope of streamline as v by u. And if you find out the product of these two slopes, we end up with minus 1. From analytical geometry, we know that if the product of two slopes of two different curves is equal to minus 1, at the point of intersection they are orthogonal to each other. That's the proof. And since we have from the definition u and v are equal to the one which is shown on the screen, and having these written expression for u and v separately in terms of velocity potential and stream function, we can find out that this dou phi by dou x is equal to dou psi by dou y. Similarly, by having the values for v expressed in phi and psi, we can relate them now as dou phi by dou y is equal to minus dou psi by dou x. Flow nets are very important concepts in flow visualization. These are the grids obtained by drawing a series of streamlines and equipotential lines. You can observe in the sketch, phi is equal to c1, c2, or phi is equal to c2. These are represent different equipotential lines. Similarly, psi is equal to d1 or psi is equal to d2. This represents different streamlines. If you take that point, one point where the velocity component in the direction s and n are vs and vn, okay, that is in the direction tangential to the curves omega psi is constant and phi is constant. I want you to have a look at closer look at the curve. Vs in the is in the direction tangential to curve psi. Similarly, Vn is tangential to a curve phi is equal to C2. At any point in the direction of n along the equipotential line, you know that along an equipotential line there is no change in velocity potential. So different along that direction, so dou phi by dou n should be equal to 0. But from the definition of velocity potential, if you recall that velocity potential definition, the partial derivative of velocity potential in any direction gives the velocity component in that direction. So dou phi by dou n should be equal to Vn. From these two expressions we have Vn is equal to 0. But we have another component Vs which is given by dou phi by dou n in the negative value, that is minus dou phi by dou n is equal to Vs. So from the definition of velocity potential we have this. Hence we can make two statements. One is there is no flow along the direction tangential to the equipotential line, that is from the first statement, that is Vn is equal to 0, that is the tangential direction, there is no flow, and Vs is having a value. So we can say flow always takes place in the direction at right angles to the equipotential line. So there is no flow along the direction which is tangential to equipotential line, but there can be some flow when at right angles to the equipotential law, which is opposite to that for a streamline. Let us see that. For stream function dou phi by dou x, that is in the direction of s, there is no variation in velocity component, that is there is no change in stream function, that is minus Vn is equal to phi. We get dou phi by dou s is equal to minus Vn because of the definition of stream function, which says that partial derivative of stream function is in a particular direction is equal to the velocity component perpendicular or normal to that direction. And the other one, that is dou phi by dou n is equal to Vs. Before going to this, you must understand that these two streamlines and equipotential lines intersect at each other, and they are at 90 degree or they are orthogonal to each other. Having this in mind, Vn and Vs are at right angles. So now dou psi by dou n should be equated to dou Vs, which is from the definition of stream function. From these two equations we can make sure that there is no flow in the direction normal to the streamline. This is already proved in the earlier definitions, that there is no when you defined streamlines, we understood that there cannot be any flow across streamlines. One of the very important points. But the flow is always along the direction tangential to the streamline. That is the definition of streamline. Any tangent at a point on a streamline represents the velocity vector in the direction. Some of the important properties of flow nets are, for a given set of boundary configurations, there is one possible pattern of the flow of an ideal fluid. But in case of real fluids, the pattern you can't fix it up like you do for a real fluid. Once the flow pattern is obtained for a given set of boundary condition or configuration, it may be used for all irrotational flow with similar geometric boundaries. That means if the shape is the same and for different sizes, the flow pattern remains the same for all irrotational flows. After drawing this flow net, the spacing between these adjacent streamlines is found out, and the application of continuity equation gives the velocity of flow at any given point if the velocity of flow at any reference point is known. So the advantage of flow analysis is that it can be used to determine the efficient boundary shapes for which the flow does not get separated from the surface. Boundary separation is a very important phenomena in fluid flow or in aerodynamics or flow hydrodynamics, where it affects the pressure gradient adversely and then reduces the flow, or we can say increases the drag force. Taking example of two cases, one of converging and diverging, other one. In a converging flow, since the boundaries are converging, the streamlines also converge rapidly. But in case of accelerated flow, the actual flow pattern approximately closest to that represented by the flow net. That means the flow pattern will be very much similar to the flow net what we can draw in case of accelerated flow or accelerating flow. But in case of a diverging flow, since boundaries are diverging, the streamlines tend to diverge and leads to a phenomenon called flow separation, wherein there will be small recirculation zones and pressure gradient adverse one, and because of that there will be turbulence or eddies or eddy currents in the recirculation zones or flow separation zones. Important limitations of flow net is that the first one, it cannot be applied to a real fluid where viscosity is to be considered for a fluid, and there will be shear forces acting on the liquid layers, and also this will be dominant or in the region which is near to the surface. So the adjacent surfaces to the fluid will have zero velocity because of no slip condition, and the central fluid which is flowing inside will have least influence of this effects. So because of that the flow tends to get separated. In such cases we cannot, particularly when viscosity is dominant at the boundaries, we cannot use flow net analysis for flow studies, and it cannot be applied even for a sharply diverging flow because of the larger turbulence or eddies. This cannot be applied, and most of the times this flow net analysis helps us to study the flow of fluids so that streamlined body can be used, or the design of streamlined bodies can be used. Problem on velocity, potential and stream function. Velocity potential for our two-dimensional flow is given by phi is equal to x into 2y minus 1. Check the existence of flow, determine the velocity of flow at point 23 and the stream function. To check the existence of flow, given velocity potential must satisfy the Laplace equation, that is dou square phi by dou x square plus dou square phi by dou y square is equal to 0, because this is two-dimensional flow. By having dou phi by dou x differentiated with, that is phi differentiated with respect to x partially, and then going for the next derivative with respect to x, we get 0 for the value, and similarly trying out the next term in the Laplace equation, we end up with 0. So 0 plus 0, the LHS of Laplace equation is 0, which is equal to the RHS. That says that the flow exists because this given velocity potential satisfies Laplace equation. And now to find out the velocity at point 23, first we must have to find out the velocity components in x and y directions, that is u and v. From the definition of velocity potential, we have u is equal to minus dou phi by dou x. We get minus 2y minus of 2y minus 1 as u. By substituting y is equal to 3 in the equation for u, we get minus 5 units. And similarly, from the definition of stream function, velocity potential v is equal to minus dou phi by dou y, which gives minus 2x as v. At the same point we get v is equal to minus 4 units. So the velocity vector is ui plus vj, which is minus phi I minus 4j for this case. The velocity magnitude is found out by the square root of u square plus v square, which gives 6.403 units. Now we have to find out the stream function. Stream function can be found out from the definition of stream function, which is dou phi by dou x is equal to v, and also we just now found out the expression for v in terms of x, that is v is equal to minus 2x, and comparing these two we get dou phi by dou x is equal to minus 2x. Now integrating this by rearranging it, we get phi is equal to minus x square plus k, where k is a function of y. After differentiating, it might have got cancelled, but you have to find out what is k now. So now differentiating this phi with respect to y direction, we get dou k by dou y. And now you also know that from the definition of stream function, dou phi by dou y is equal to minus u, and u is found out to be minus 2y by minus 1. So using that we can find out this dou phi by dou y is equal to dou k by dou y. This is by just comparing the two terms. Now we rearranging the term dou k by dou y, it becomes dou k is equal to 2y minus 1 into dou y. So integrating this with respect to y now, we get k is equal to y square minus y. Here there cannot be constant because k is a function of y only, it cannot be a function of x. Now substituting this k in the equation for stream function, we get stream function psi is equal to minus x square plus y square minus y. Rearranging it, it is y square minus x square minus y. This is the expression for stream function, but finding the value of stream function at 0.23, substitute the value of x and y, that is x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3, we get 2 units as the answer for stream function. Another question, for a two-dimensional flow the stream function is given by psi is equal to 2xy. Calculate the velocity at a point 36. Show that velocity potential exists for this case. Also determine the velocity potential. First, to find out the velocity at a point, so from the definition of stream function we can find out what is the value of u and v. We know that dou psi by dou x is equal to v from the definition, and given psi is equal to 2xy, we get v is equal to 2y. Similarly, from definition of stream function, dou phi by dou y is equal to minus u, and we get because of this u is equal to minus 2x. At the point 36 we get v is equal to 12 units and u is equal to minus 6 units, and therefore we can get the value of velocity at this point for this case, 13.416 units. Now to find out the velocity potential from the given stream function, it is opposite to the previous case wherein we found out stream function from velocity potential, but here it is velocity potential from given stream function, but we adopt the same technique. Now we have dou phi by dou x is equal to minus v, this is from the definition of velocity potential, and v is 2y, so dou phi by dou x is minus 2y, and rearranging these terms, dou phi is equal to minus 2y dou x. Integrating this with respect to y, we get dou phi is equal to integral of minus 2y dou x. On integration we get phi is equal to minus y square plus k, where k can be a function of x. Now differentiating with respect to x, we get dou phi by dou x is equal to dou k by dou x, and this dou k by dou x is equal to minus u from its definition, from the definition of phi, because dou phi by dou x is equal to minus u. And rearranging the terms, for dou k is equal to dou 2x 2y, we get by integrating similarly, we get dou integral of dou k is equal to integral of 2x dou x, which gives the value of k as yx square. On substitution of k is equal to x square in the equation for velocity potential, we end up with phi is equal to x square minus y square. And if you want to continue to check whether the velocity potential exists for this case, there are two methods. One is to check using velocity potential itself, and the other one is by using the velocity components. For velocity potential to exist, or for a flow to exist, when you say velocity potential, it says the potential to flow. So to flow check this, we have this option. First one is phi, checking the phi, and you know that for a flow to exist, velocity potential must satisfy Laplace equation. So this method is tried out in the previous problem. Yes, it can be checked that this LHS is equal to RHS, so velocity potential exists or flow exists. And the same can be checked using velocity components, which we tried in the problems earlier. Velocity components must satisfy continuity equation for a potential flow, that is for two dimension, dou u by dou x plus dou v by dou y is equal to 0 given, and the values of expressions for u and v are found out in the previous slide. So it is minus 2x for u, 2y for v, and checking it out, even this velocity component satisfies continuity equation, so that potential, it represents a case of potential flow, or flow exists for the given velocity components.